I'm a visual. Yeah, I kill it cold like a criminal. On the 19th of October 2022, Suella or Suellen resigned from her position as the Home Secretary because she sent an official mail from her personal email. So she resigned because of that mistake. Now, on the 20th of October 2022, the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, resigned from her position as the Prime Minister and the Conservative Party leader because she could not deliver on the mandate she was elected. The UK now requires a new Prime Minister and new Conservative Party leader, and they are supposed to get a new one in 1 week. Now, how does that affect international students, both in the UK and prospective international students? In this video, I will be sharing my thoughts. I will be explaining some of the things that is happening and its potential effects on international students in the UK and prospective international students. So if you want to know more about what's going to happen to international students in the UK with all the political events happening in the UK, please keep on watching. Everybody know I'm a visual. Yeah, I kill it cold like a criminal. I'm everybody's type, but nobody can deny. Yes, you know I get it, I'm getting freaky, yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky, get that freaky, get freaky, get it right. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omomi, aka Petite Diva, and I am a University of Nottingham alumni and also a Developing Solutions Scholarship Award winner. In this educational series, I talk about the UK admission process, I talk about the UK visa process, I also talk about tips and tricks on how to enjoy your stay in the UK as a student, and I also talk about tips and tricks on how to earn more money as an international student in the UK. So if you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you'll be notified anytime I upload videos. Now, before I continue with this video, I just want to remind you that I offer some UK educational services, and those services include SOP writing, academic CV writing, and the UK admission package. Now, the UK admission package, which has 3 types, includes me curating courses and schools that best fit you, helping you with your SOP writing, helping you with the academic CV writing, and also helping you applying to the schools and courses that you've chosen. Now, if you want to use any of my services, please check the description box for my email address, or you can also join the Telegram group. If you've been watching my videos, you know I've been hyping my Telegram group because it is going down, that group. People are getting multiple offers and are also aware of things that are changing in the UK in real time, so that you are able to take advantage of some certain things, and you are also able to know ahead of things that are going to happen so that you can avoid some mistakes. So if you are in the group, it is real time and it is a group that you must participate. I keep removing people that are not participating. And I also have a standard that must be maintained. You cannot act funny in the group and you cannot act funny in other groups. If you act funny in other groups and I see it, I will remove you from the group. I'm trying to make the group as sane as possible and as helpful as possible. So if you're going to join the group, please and please respect yourself and respect others in the group. As usual, when you enter the group, you are not allowed to comment for the first 24 hours. You are supposed to read the pinned messages and also read other comments that have been made in the group before you can ask any questions in the group. And if you want to use my services after the 24 hours, you can contact me because some of the questions that you first asked have been already answered in the group. So if you want to use my services, check the description box for the link to the Telegram group and also my email address. Now let's get into this video. Now, for context,
let me go back a few months ago. So now, a few months ago, Boris Johnson had to resign because there was a lot of problems for him. Even though I feel like he could have gotten over the problems, but a lot of his ministers started resigning and it kind of forced him to resign. So a new prime minister was elected, and that is Liz Truss. Liz Truss, who was the prime minister for 45 days, has resigned, like I earlier said. Now, if you are an international student, you already know Sue Ella. Now, I'm just going to say a bit of what she has been doing that really gave a lot of her international student high blood pressure. So she is one of the people that kept on hammering on foreign students being a lot in the UK. Also, she's one of the persons that was insisting that the dependent visa has to be reviewed. Now, she also, before she resigned, was contemplating reducing the student visa and also restricting the post-study work visa. Now, if you go to most of the schools in the UK, if you study courses in most of the universities in the UK, after passing your program, either bachelor's, master's, or PhD, you can apply for the new post-study work visa. Now, she was contemplating restricting people who could apply for the post-study work visa to those who have done a certain kind of course or certain kind of courses. And those courses, she said, are the high-skilled courses. So most of the time when they say high-skilled courses, most of them are the engineering, the STEM courses, the health courses. Engineering and STEM and health courses are actually STEM. So most of them are usually the STEM. So engineering, health courses, tech courses. So those are the kind of people that she was going to allow to apply for the post-study work visa. So if you do something like management, fashion communication, mass communication, you are not going to be able to apply for a post-study work visa after you had finished your program. That was what she was, I think it was that day that she resigned or some days after that she was supposed to announce some of those restrictions. Then she resigned. So that's what happened. She left, and it has given a lot of people a bit of calmness. But as with the UK, policies change. Now, a day after Liz Truss, who said she was a fighter, blah and blah, resigned. Now there is a need to elect a new prime minister or new Conservative Party leader. Now the two people who have over 100 MPs backing them are Rishi, Sunak, and Boris Johnson. Now, a lot of international students would be like, yay, Boris Johnson. Because from our past experience, I would say because he's the one that reinstated the post-study work visa in 2019. He was the one that said, let's bring it back. We've gone out of EU. We have done the Brexit. So let's bring it back to enable us attract more students and have them stay for at least 2 to 3 years. So it was suggested to be reinstated in 2019, but eventually people started getting the post-study work visa at around 2021. So for international students, seeing him coming back would be like, oh, at least this is someone that believes in international students staying back for 2 years, and will give us a chance to bring our dependent. We don't know. So that is a good news for people. At least. For Rishi Sunak, he was a chancellor under Boris Johnson. So he was one of the ministers under Boris Johnson. And he was one of the first people to resign and force Boris Johnson's hand into resigning. This is not going to be my personal opinion. I don't like him because some of the things that I found out about him really made me feel like, oh, this guy is going to be very terrible for international students. Now, Rishi Sunak is of Indian descent. He is, I think, a second generation immigrant. But as I've seen, I've noticed that those ministers or MP that are second generation immigrants tend to throw immigrants under the bus. I don't get it. Pretty Patel, Kemi, but I don't know how to pronounce that surname. Suella, even Rishi Sunak, look, they act funny when considering immigration or immigrants. Now back to Rishi Sunak. Like I said, he's of Indian descent, but I don't trust someone who was working under Boris Johnson, was one of the first people to resign, forced everybody to kind of triggered the whole resignation palaver. And then I now noticed that he had his campaign website for almost 2 years. And I'm like, wow, so you are really targeting becoming a prime minister. I don't know if his intentions are true or he just wants to be a prime minister that is of Indian descent or something. I don't know. I personally don't feel like he's the best person for that position, because I feel like he's more interested in gaining power than in helping the country. And the fact that Kemi is supporting him in his bid to contest for the leadership and prime minister, it just gives me wrong vibes. But we will see what's going to happen. So now, as of when I'm recording it, both Boris Johnson, like I said, both Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak have more than 100 MPs supporting them. So they are going to contest for the leadership role. Some hours ago, it was said that both Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak were having a meeting, and I don't know what happened to the meeting. But this week, we're going to know if they have resolved that one person will go for prime minister, one person will go for chancellor, or they would vote. I don't really know. Now, what does it mean for international students? Now, if you look at the things that Boris Johnson have done, you are more likely to have more faith. Yes, you're more likely to have more faith in Boris Johnson not really scrapping the student visa or post-study work visa, because definitely he's the one that brought it back. But then, the figures have increased and so much things have happened. Now, if he doesn't employ someone like Suella, Kemi, or Pretty as his home secretary or chancellor or something that has to do with immigration, or someone who thinks like them, we are more likely to be more relaxed. So that is based on his past experience. I feel like if he's reinstated back, his major concerns will be to stabilize the UK economy and improve it. It will also be to make sure that he doesn't make any mistake. He's going to try and redeem himself. It will also be to help his party win the general election, which might happen next year, because a lot of people are screaming for a general election and the general election. Now, if Boris Johnson is elected the new prime minister and Conservative Party leader, the Conservative Party stands a chance of winning at the general election, because a lot of people actually like Boris Johnson. Forget the media and forget the MPs and the rest. A lot of people like Boris Johnson. Like, he was voted in, not changed. He actually was voted in and won with a landslide victory. And people still like him, because he did the things that Theresa May was dragging her leg up and down for. So a lot of people like him. And if he is elected the prime minister and party leader and there is a general election, there is a huge tendency that he's going to win and Labour Party, which is the other party, would lose. Now, for Rishi Sunak, I don't like him, but let's be objective. Now, he is more favorable for the MPs for now, but in general, people don't really like him. And if he's elected as the Conservative Party leader and Prime Minister, and there is a general election, there is a huge tendency that Conservative Party will lose heavily and Labour Party will be the ruling party, and there will be a new Prime Minister, because he is not really liked per se. And the whole thing he did with Boris Johnson and the backstabbing and everything really rubs people the wrong way. Personally, it rubs me the wrong way, because you could have done that if you don't like Boris Johnson. You could have talked to him or something else. But it looked like it was a calculated plan to make him resign, and then he becomes the Prime Minister. Personally, and which way, this is my personal opinion. Based on his character, I don't know. Now, based on his political, whatever, capability, I don't know if it's the right choice to help the UK, especially at this time. But he's in the running. Some people, why they favor Boris Johnson, they feel like they don't have the time to be doing try and error with any new person or someone that is not very experienced, that they would rather Boris Johnson comes, stabilize the whole economy, do everything, let it settle, then maybe they can now try a new person. But that is the opinion of people that are not in power to vote, both of them. So now we are going to watch this week. I don't know if by the time I upload this video something else would have happened, but as it is right now, this is the situation. Now, would Rishi Sunak be a prime minister that will favor international students? I don't know, and that is the truth. But I'm a bit wary of MPs that are second generation immigrant, because they just act funny. Based on the past ones we've seen, they are the ones that act funny. So I don't know. I don't have faith in him. I think he's going to put people that would actually pull the plug on the student visa. I don't know. This is just me speculating. But personally, I don't have faith in him. Personally, based on past experience, I would have more faith in Boris Johnson. But then again, I'm not in the position to elect any one of them. Any which way, that is what we are looking at right now. We're hoping for the best. Everybody keep your fingers crossed. We just hope that whoever is elected, they will do a good job for UK and also for students that are intending to study in the UK and those that are presently in the UK. So that's all for today's video. Like I said, this is a video that is just discussing the possibilities that might happen. I really don't know a lot of things. I'm not a politician. I'm not involved in international relations and all the rest. But this is just based on my own perspective. And I am biased because I'm looking at it as an international student, as an immigrant. Now, someone who is not an international student, is not an immigrant, will have a different opinion. So this is just me talking, discussing. I want to find out your thoughts, if any of the things that I said is actually what you think. If you have a contrary opinion, please leave it in the comment section. So that is the end of today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.